Good morning. Good We are powered by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. And we are coming off an exciting week where we were all hosted at the Clean Energy Summit with none other than Miss Terry Simmons. And so we're going to talk about that on today. We're also going to have a conversation about Lobby Day. Lobby Day is such an important thing for Black businesses and for our Black community. And, you know, we're going to be live with our president, Mr. Larry Ivory, and of course, the illustrious Lord Mike. You know, but listen, we want to tell you guys we want you to call in on today because, see, we are really going to be dialing in and talking about how do we affect change in the state of Illinois. You know, we're going to be diving back, looking at the receipts of the success of Lobby Day, what we're able to do with it, and how the different bills and acts that have come into play because of it. You know, our voice, our voice moves mountains in the state of Illinois. And so, you know, we're gonna crack that open on today. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna crack that open on today. And then of course we're also gonna talk about the chamber is putting on their first annual boat cruise. And the boat cruise is something that is so unique because not only will we be cruising and having fun, but you're gonna have access to industry leaders. We're talking about from the state of Illinois. You're going to have access to industry leaders from CEOs and multimillionaires and multi-billionaires. And we're going to have seminars on this cruise. So it is like a master class on an Alaskan cruise. And we're going to open that up for you as well. So, you know, I'm waiting on my cohorts, Mr. Larry Ivory, to come on. Oh, there he is. And there go Mr.
I'm
Lord
here.
Mike. Prayers, what you got going on? You're looking
Hey, welcome to the Wake Up Show Chicago, man. MC, glad to be on the air with you again. Again, let me just reiterate the shout out to Terry Simmons. I know she is resting because she did a fantastic job on the Clean Energy Summit. To my sister and comrades in arm, Terry, great job. Looking forward to another great event next year because this is the annual event. And hey, and I'm gonna turn it over to Lord Mike. Lord Mike.
I'm here.
Okay, I said turn it over to you, man. Say
Oh,
something.
well, hey, peace and blessings to the true and living there. I apologize. I missed the mark. I didn't wasn't coming through here. I am actually in travels today, so moving around. As just as MC said, we're gonna absolutely have a moving episode today. So I'm glad to be on with everybody and to talk about all the great things that we've been into and the great things that we're about to get into.
Hey, absolutely. Hey, let me just say this too, real quick, everyone, is that we had a great event with Terry Simmons as a partner with MBDA. Um, we got some things that's in front of us. That's important. And I think it's important to our listening audience because this show is about us moving a business agenda forward that empowers the Black community and Black people. Um, One of the things we've been talking about, and I just want to touch on it real quick, is that when we have issues, we can't let those issues go away and just kind of touch on it and get nothing done. So we've had an issue for years and years on the issue with Simcoe Solution in the healthcare industry and our lack thereof of participation. We are going to stay focused on that until we are able to come back to our listening audience and tell them that something has been done specifically to this particular arena. Not that nothing gets done in healthcare for African Americans, but not enough has been done. And so we're going to stay on that topic. We're going to make sure that that's a topic that we can report back to you on. We also got that same issue with the state revenue department, where one of our people should have had a contract where there's no Black participation, no Hispanic participation, no white female participation, nothing nothing but six white firms who are getting the business, have gotten the business and continue to get the business. So we want some diversity in that, and we want to make sure that we bring that to a resolution. So you can count on the fact to our listener, we're going to make sure that we dial in on that and make sure we get that done. So hey guys, MC, how do you? We said we were going to talk about the event coming up on the what's the day is the 16th of March.
16th of
So
March.
why don't you and Mike tell me a little bit about the venue we're going to be at and how can people get connected to it?
So check this out. We just had a networking event. We were with the Clean Energy Summit, and there was all of these dignitaries that were there. There were, and when I say dignitaries, I mean people people who will teach you how to do business with the state, with various different companies. And I'm telling you, the table was set. And every time the chamber does an event, the table is set. And so here we go again. Here we go yet again. We're going to go to the Hollywood Boulevard Entertainment Facility in Woodridge, Illinois. And when I tell you how magnificent and opulent this venue is, it is a sight to be seen. It is one of our partners with the chamber. It's a chamber member who owns it. And when you walk in, the edifice is just beautiful. I mean, there's a bar that seems to be about like 20-25 feet long. There are floor to ceiling windows that curve over you, and the outer area is so beautiful with an area for people to sing. They have entertainment there, seating areas. But then you step out on Hollywood Boulevard, and the walls are lined with pictures and of movie stars from past and present. And then you begin to go into the various different themed theaters, from a theater dedicated to Marvel and DC, and another theater themed to the Oscars, another one for the people of the past, the movie stars of the past. And then they even have a museum of for the movies. And so you can see Dorothy Dandridge's dress, you can see the dress that Jennifer Hudson wore in Dreamgirls, and it's amazing. But then we're going to bring to the table all of the businesses that you want to be hooked up with. I mean, this is going to be yet another magnificent networking event that the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce is putting on. I mean, come on, Lord Mike, what you got? Oh, we going into commercial break. That's like after the break, we gonna come back, and Lord Mike is gonna tell us what was his impression of the place when he went there. I'm telling you, you need to see at this table on the 16th with the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. Come on.
Are you ready to boost your brand's visibility and share your message with our engaged audience? You can. Become a sponsor of the Wake Up Show Chicago and get your brand in the spotlight. Our show reaches a diverse, dynamic, and dedicated audience. Connect with us to learn more about sponsorship opportunities. Call 309-740-4430 today and let's elevate your brand together. Don't miss out on this chance to make an impact. Call 309-740-4430 now.
Also share this you can share this broadcast rather from Facebook and from YouTube. So when we went to break, we was talking about the networking event on the 16th at Hollywood Boulevard Entertainment Facility in Woodridge. Lord Mike, for those business owners that are on the fence about whether they're going to attend and come to this thing, can you give us some reasons why you should want to attend this event and why it's so important, sir?
I mean, hey, well, first and foremost, we talked about some premier networking. That's what it's really all about right there. It's a beautiful venue. We're at the chamber here with our networking socials. We always looking for diverse and just new venues to help to amplify and bring a little bit more dynamics to the event itself, right? But and Hollywood Boulevard Cinema is definitely going to deliver on that there, no question. And you laid out a bunch of perks and beautiful things that's happening there. But when we talk about the networking, they're always well attended. We always have diplomats, executives, leadership figures from the corporate space, from the nonprofit, from the state agencies, all that. It's always stocked with a great group of people to network with. So if you really want to accelerate your business platform, that's why you want to be there. You're going to be able to rub elbows with executives that you wouldn't have a chance to get in front of any otherwise. Depending on where you are, of course, but it's always a great time. And then we've always got great food. The camaraderie is fantastic, and from the entertainment side, the last one we had out at Beverly Hills, the band was kicking. The band was kicking all night long, and we had so many great presentations upstairs, downstairs. President Ivory was bouncing around like a young player out there, laying the game down and getting in tune with everybody. It was a great time. If you look on our website, imbcc.org, or any of our socials, just punch at Wake Up Show Chicago into your browser. You'll be able to see a lot of the archival footage and some pictures and maybe some videos and stuff too. So it's always a good time. You want to be there.
You know what,
Well,
Prayers?
absolutely.
Every time you put on an event, I tell you something. I never feel like I'm the smartest person in the room. I feel like you bring in these luminaries, you bring in these decision makers that give game exactly how to do business with these agencies. What type of places, what type of people are we going to see at this particular event? Can you give us a clue? Can you give us just a few gems? I know you might want to keep some of it secret, but can you give us something just to whet our palate on who we gonna be rubbing elbows with?
Well, let me just say this, Mike, and to our listening audience. The chamber, what we do with them in mind. So we always try to bring people who are decision makers, who can make a decision that we can connect you with, whether it be someone in clean energy, a young lady who's running a part of CEJA is Hillary Scott. She was at the meeting we had on Thursday. So we always bring people who you want to connect to, and there's billions of dollars out there. So if you're a business person, you can be sitting at home watching TV and relaxing. You can do that. That's a choice you could make. Or you could come out to a place that you may get connected and find an opportunity that could change your life and your family's life. You can find a partner. You can find someone that can help you grow your business. Someone that can help you land a contract and build a relationship, because it's all about relationship. But you can't do that sitting at home. So this is a place to be, because you're going to have more opportunities in front of you. And if you're leveraging your time, you want to leverage your time where you have the greatest opportunity. So it's real simple. It ain't complicated. All business people know it. It's a place to be. Fortunately, I would tell people get registered as quickly as possible, because we have limited capacity, limited number
Always.
of seating. So don't wait until the last moment like some people did on the last event, where they called me at the last moment to see if they could get in, and we did everything we could to get them in, but some didn't get in. So just be aware. Let's make sure that you come out and connect and create opportunities for yourself.
And
Well,
I would
Terry,
chime in on that real quick, because I have had people that say, you always have limited spaces, limited register now, and you think it's just like a selling point or something. But first of all, these are no cost events, the networking events are no cost. And when we say it's limited space, we mean that no matter how big it is. Hollywood Boulevard Cinemas, this is a huge venue, and they've got like 10 theaters in there, and we'll be sequestered in a couple different ones there, right? But still, inside the theater, we want to be sure that everybody has an opportunity to really get connected, to have some great conversation, to be able to move around and to do what's intended there. So we really do mean it. Space, we try to keep it at a certain number for the comfortability and for success for everybody. So please, by all means, do register. And I know this on this session on the 16th, March 16th, we're going to be talking about Lobby Day, getting you connected to Lobby Day and all, why it's important, some of the great agenda items we're going to be building on that we want you to help us build on, and success, and really going down there and making a real difference there. So that's going to be another truly exciting conversation about Lobby Day at this March 16th networking event.
You know,
Absolutely, Mike. Let's get right into it, man, because Lobby Day is around the corner.
come on.
And we ought to talk about for a moment, just for a moment, talk about why Lobby Day is so important. And when you take a look at historical data and people who are making things happen, there is a system and a process that if you don't get engaged in it, you don't end up getting the results. It's like baking a cake. If you don't put all the ingredients in it, then your cake may not come out as well as it should have been. So you got to follow the directions, and we got to understand what ingredients it takes. So Lobby Day is our day to come down in this historical day that we're presenting to people with the largest convening the largest group of Black businesses ever to convene in the state of Illinois on the Capitol.
Most truly.
Okay. It will be the largest contingency. It is a historical moment. It's like the Million Man March or the when Dr. King did I Have a Dream speech. You want to be there because this is going to be a day that will live on for a long time because we're going to come in record numbers down to Springfield with an agenda in terms of what we want, because the Black business doesn't um, create its own venue, it create its own voice, then and don't speak up about the things we want, then we won't get the things that we deserve. So it's going to be important for us to come together and to come down to Springfield in record numbers, get registered for it, because there's going to be a lot of things happening throughout that venue. We do this every year, and this year will be an exceptional year to make sure that Black business voice is heard in Springfield.
And let's not make no mistake about it. We keep hearing black businesses, black businesses, black businesses. And the reason that we continuously say we need to bring as many black business owners to Springfield is because of this. Black businesses are the ones that hire black people. And when we talk about economic empowerment and bringing it back to our communities and turning the ships around, improving our communities, improving the situations for our children, I'm talking about getting people gainfully employed in careers, not just dead end jobs. We're talking about career fields, and black businesses are the ones that create these things for us. So we need you, the black business owner, to join us and champion this so that we can begin to affect our communities. And that's why we got to bring black businesses down to Springfield for Lobby Day. It is so important. And we're going to go over the numbers. We're going to talk about the effectiveness of Lobby Day and the things that the acts that have been put into place, the bills that have been put into place because voices showed up at the state capitol. Come on,
That's
man.
it there. Yeah, that's it. When you talk about President Ivory, when you talk about the recipe and baking the cake, not bringing it down, just bringing it down and boiling it down a little bit there. When you talk about that recipe and bringing the numbers, if you could, why is it important? I mean, I don't want to seem to simplify it too much here, but why is it important that we bring these record numbers to the state capitol? Why is that important that we bring a record number of Black-owned businesses?
Well, again, everything that we do is about creating relevancy. And how do you do that in a capitalistic society? If you take a look at the civil rights movement, when you take a look at anyone who's getting something done, whether it be Black Lives Matter, you name it, it's because they have been able to mobilize people that they have voted for to make sure they understand what's important to them. When you do not show up down in Springfield, you basically help neutralize yourself, because what politicians pay attention to is their voters. Because without their voters, they cannot get elected. But if Black business never shows up down in Springfield with an agenda, then Black business gets put on the back burner. And that's not where we need to be. We don't need to be there for the sake of our community and our families. We got to be there because we know that this is a part of the game, just like we do the radio show. It's a part of getting our message out there for Black business. And we exist for one reason only, to strengthen Black businesses And if we do that, we strengthen Black people, Black communities, and we also strengthen America. So Lobby Day is our voice coming down to Springfield with an agenda to meet with the Department of Correction, to meet with CMS, to meet with the governor, to meet with the president of the Senate, to meet with the Black Caucus, to go to every state rep and state senator on the bills that we support and the bills that we want them not to support, and make sure they understand it. Because once we go down there and we tell them where we're at, they have a right to agree or disagree, but our votes matter. And
Yeah.
Black businesses hire Black people. So the bigger the number are, the stronger our voices are at the same time. So it's
Right
critical.
on.
And you
Right
know
on.
what?
Sometimes when I'm sorry, go ahead, MC.
Go ahead, sir.
Well, I was just going to say that a lot of times we have an array of Black-owned businesses out there, and they cover the strata of all different types of industry. And sometimes you're kind of got your focus, laser beam focused on your business and what matters to your business, and you don't really you're not looking at what matters to if you're a baker necessarily. You're not necessarily worried about or thinking about what's going on with a construction business or what's going on with a retail, other type of retail business, right? So when you go out there to say we want to go down there to lobby, sometimes that can seem like an ambiguous word. We're going down there to lobby, but we are literally, from what you're saying, President Ivory, we're going down. Lobbying means to get our agenda, what's important to us, what we want to get across, to actually convey that in real time to the spaces, to the places that matter. So if we really want to resonate when we go down there, we don't want to miss this opportunity to be a part of a powerful movement, no doubt. But we want to be sure that our message gets to the floors and ensure that our perspectives are heard at the tables that matter the most.
Yeah.
So the bigger, the stronger those numbers are, the more impact of a lobby effort that we'll make.
The more money comes into our pockets, into our community pockets. Believe
I
me,
like
it's how
that.
it works. It's how America works. And we got to understand how critical it is. Because if you take a look at organizations like the Illinois Manufacturers Association, the Illinois Chamber of Commerce, the regular Chamber of Commerce,
You know what?
if you
Wait, hold
take a
on one
look
second. You
at
know
the
what?
Hispanic
We're
Chamber
gonna
of
pay some
Commerce.
bills and
Okay.
continue this after the break.
Attention, all entrepreneurs and business owners. Tune into the Wake Up Show Chicago on YouTube for expert insights, valuable resources, and inspiration to grow your Black-owned business. Go to YouTube and search for @Wake Up Show Chicago and hit subscribe and the notification bell to subscribe to the Wake Up Show Chicago for behind the scenes and in studio action. Don't miss a single episode. Engage with us in real time. Comment live on YouTube and connect with like-minded entrepreneurs. Hosted by Larry D. Ivory, Buddy Love, and MC Pearson. The Wake Up Show Chicago empowers Black-owned businesses, powered by Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. Subscribe, engage, and elevate your business journey today.
Welcome back to the Wake Up Show Chicago, powered by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. I know I don't say it quite like our other co-host Buddy Love does, but you know what? I'm trying. I'm doing my level best, to try to live up to the way that he would come back from the commercial break. Now, Prayers, I want to pick back up on that thought that you had when we went to commercial break, sir.
Well, what I was saying, MC, is that Lobby Day is really essential to making sure that people hear what's important to us, and how the system works itself is, it works by, there's a comment that says, a government for the people, by the people, shall not perish. Only thing that means that the people at the end of the day make the decision about who's going to be president, what legislation passes. But if people don't come out and work together on the common agenda to make sure that Black businesses have a seat at the table, then Black businesses will not get their return on investment.
You,
And
you know,
so, no matter who you are, if you have a Black business, this is a day that you carve out on April the 10th, and you say to yourself that, hey, I'm going down here to be a part of history, but I'm also going to bring anyone else I can bring down with me to be a part of history also. I want our voice to be so strong and so complete that black business will always be understood to be relevant in the game. Now, we know white business is relevant because white males represent about 30 something percent of the population, but they're getting close to 80% plus of all the contracts. But they spend time down in Springfield. They have lobbyists. They spend time in Springfield making sure they get to the people. They do fundraising. They do all the things so that they can stay in power and they can benefit from this great economy that we got going on right now. So for us, we have to make sure that we understand this is a historical moment because it will be the largest convening of Black business in history of the state of Illinois. We will ask for leadership to meet. We will break up in different meetings. We will make sure that if you're interested in construction, we'll have the Capital Development Board. We'll have IDOT. If you're interested in general services, we're going to be talking to CMS, CEI. So no matter what business you're in, there's an opportunity for you to talk about the things that matter. Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, DCEO, they got an enormous amount of money in terms when it comes to clean energy, but also when it comes to other programs to start businesses that you're not aware of. So we're going to have groups that will be broken, that will divide up, and we will go and the people will lead those groups to have a conversation with. We're going to have a conversation with Department of Correction because the Department of Correction spends a lot of money. So we also would say to our listening audience, if there's someone that you want to see, if it's something that you think would be helpful for us at this convening of Black business, call in, tell us, give us your suggestion,
Yeah.
and we'll see if we can implement some of the things that we may hear from our listening audience. But this is really about us and about us having a very strong voice down in Springfield so that we can drive money and revenues. And ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is that when you take a look at Black people in the state of Illinois, that Black business is not getting nearly its percentage based upon our numbers. There is over 120,000 Black businesses. But ladies and gentlemen, take a look at our procurement, you know, and take a look at what we're getting in the healthcare space. In different spaces, you'll find that we got work to do. When you take a look at the internal revenue, all these lucrative contracts, not one African American has a contract, not a subcontract, not anything. We got to change that. When
That's
you
a
take
big.
a look at healthcare, Simcoe Solution, we got to change that. That's what this is all about.
You know what, Prez? Let me help out some of the small business owners who don't quite know how they could fit in. I was in your position last year. I went down to my first lobby day. Now, for those that don't know, I'm in the print industry. We do large scale banners and signage. We do apparel and offset printing. And I say, how can I get a seat at the table? I don't even know why I should be going. Listen, I showed up anyway. No clue how I was going to get in on the game, but I went because I believe what President Larry Ivory was saying. So once I showed up down there, once again, not knowing how I was going to be able to fit in, but it got me a seat at the table and I was able to start to have conversations with the various people down there. So like I talked with the Capital Development Board. So the main thing that they're doing is they're overseeing all this construction that is going on and the RFPs and putting them out here and making sure that the different companies are getting these construction contracts. And I say, well, I'm in printing. How can I be a part of this? Because I don't see RFPs that pull out the print side of it. But because of that conversation, they said, okay, so we know how we can get you involved. This is how you're going to get involved. You're going to pay attention to who are winning those contracts, and then you're going to go to those people and say, listen, I'm minority certified, I'm veteran certified, and so you can actually hit some of these numbers that are required of you by the development board by pulling out some of your print and giving it over to me because I'm certified and I'm qualified. So it was because I was actually in the room and able, the table that you set, President Ivory, and the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce set, because I was able to get into the room, I was able to have that conversation and find out where does my business fit in, and not only where does it fit in, How do I fit in? Exactly what steps do I need to take? But see, I didn't know that prior to going down there, but I trusted what you said and I believe in what you said. And so I think as small business owners, listen, you might not know exactly where your business is going to fit in or exactly how you can benefit from lobby day. But if you have the same spirit that I had, and you go down there, I'm telling you, you're going to find a space and you're going to be able to have these conversations with the people who make the decisions.
I'll
And you,
tell you, MC. It almost sounds almost too good to be true. Just speaking from an outsider looking in, and President Ivory, if you could, what about the business owner that feels like, when I hear lobbying, I'm thinking of big money. Lobbyists get paid big money to go down there and lobby for agenda items for corporations and all this stuff. There, can it really be as straightforward as you're laying out, President Ivory? I mean, is there really? I mean, some people get scared when they hear the word lobby. Like, oh, man, hey, I don't got
come
lobby
on, man.
money. I love I love to be able to get in the room and to do that and participate and make an impact for my business. But they make that automatic connection there.
Yeah. Well, I think it's quite simple. Pardon me. If we would change the word to advocates, we could say we're going down there to advocate for Black business because that's fundamentally what we're doing. We're being advocates for Black business, and we're making sure that the things that are important to us, that we send a message to everyone in the political atmosphere that we're coming down here because we have a voice and that we vote, that we contribute to campaigns, and we just want them to understand that when we ask for something, we
Hmm.
expect those things to be done just like anybody else that comes out to Springfield. So this day is an important day. It's April the 10th.
Hmm.
We will be convening at around 10 o'clock in front of the statue right in front of the Capitol building,
The Lincoln statue.
Lincoln statue. We will host an event after the lobby day to come down, and we'll invite state reps, state senators to come by and say hello, and we'll have corporate partners who will come, and also the CEOs will come in and say hello, and it's a reception to network. Ladies and gentlemen, this is really, like I said, this is really just about us being able to, because
Advocate.
let me just mention this. They're passing legislation every day,
Mhm.
thousands of pieces of legislation every day. And the question is, are they passing things that benefit you? Are they doing something that hurts you? Or are they doing something to empower you? Well, most of the time, we don't know anything that's going on down in Springfield unless it comes on the news.
Come on, man.
So we're going to chamber is going to be working on all of the pieces of legislation that we think has an impact upon our people,
You know
from a
what?
business side.
And you know
We
what? Let's
will
get some
then
receipts.
give recommendations and show you what we're doing and how it can be done.
You know what, Prez? Let's get some receipts. I just want to give some examples. So the Environmental Priorities Coalition, they went down and they lobbied for clean school buses, and they got it. You got the Green Party. They brought 300 people from across the state of Arizona to their state capital because they wanted clean water and they wanted clean parks, and they got it. The Illinois Stewardship Alliance, they brought 500 people to advocate for environmental protection acts, and you can look this up. That resulted in the HB 2520, which was the Environmental Justice Act. It also resulted in the HB 1608, which was the Coal Ash Act. I'm telling you, we can affect change. It's happening. Other coalitions are going down to Springfield and their voices are being heard, and we are seeing the acts and the laws being put into place because of their voices, because they showed up, because they didn't just let somebody else go do it. They went down
Hmm.
there and did it themselves. I'm telling you,
That's a
this
great
is
point.
what we
That's a
need.
that's a great point, MC. And it just to kind of circle back to the what I was just saying and asking President Ivory, we're actually lobbying or advocating for ourselves. There's no middle person between it. We're meeting with the agencies and with the at the tables that count, and we're speaking for ourselves.
Yeah,
So you know what?
absolutely. And again, you cannot imagine even the civil rights movement if we had not come out and fought for accommodation rights and everything else. We would still be sitting on the back of the bus. It's important for us to make sure our voices are heard, MC.
You know what, President Ivory, you speak about the civil rights movement, and you know, unfortunately for everybody, y'all don't get a chance to just sit down in closed room environments with President Ivory and hear him speak on different topics. But the other night, he was speaking on the fact that the playbook has been out here, for a long time, even before the civil rights unit. I mean, the civil rights battles, but when the civil rights battles came about, we took that playbook and we probably did it better than anybody else. Not saying that we created it, but we did it better than anybody else. And people learned from what we did, and they picked it up and they ran with it. And now we got to pick it up again and run with it again. But you know what? We got a call on the line. I want to bring Brother Brown on to the Wake Up Show. Good morning, Brother Brown. Why don't you come on and wake us up, sir? What you got?
Good morning. How are you today?
Man, I'm doing
Good
better
morning.
than most and even better than that. What about you?
I'm doing great myself. Got a question for you though. We're dealing with these contracts. I know there's some issues that they have numbers that they have to be in compliance with. Do you all work with the compliance officers to see that these things are enforced?
Absolutely, absolutely, Brian. That's our whole. That's what we do as an organization because whether it be Justice 40, whether it be IDOT, Tollway, Capital Development Board, they have goals. And if we don't make sure they're in compliance, then we have failed our community. So we're always focused on compliance because that's the enforcement to make sure that people live up to it. And we stay engaged on the policy side to make sure people get treated fairly.
That's a
Yeah.
great point too.
It seems like the compliance part of these contracts isn't enforced because the black people are always coming up short in terms of being allotted their proper allotment.
You know what, Brother
Yeah,
Brown? Go ahead, sir.
yeah. I would say to Brother Brown is that you're right in reference to the fact that you know even though they have compliance and they have goals and objectives, is that a lot of times they get away with some things because there's not enough people watching them. And even as a chamber, we can catch some things, we can't catch all the things. But if you let us know about a contract that's coming out, that's why we work with organizations, and that's why this show is on diversity, equity, and inclusion and accessibility. Because what we do, we fight for that to make sure it happens.
And we're gonna
Like we work
continue
with
this
Wind
fight.
Creek,
We're
the
gonna
lottery,
continue
the
this
whole
fight
gamut.
after the break. And thank you for listening to the Wake Up Show Chicago.
Are you ready to boost your attention, all entrepreneurs and business owners? Tune in to the Wake Up Show Chicago on YouTube for expert insights, valuable resources, and inspiration to grow your Black-owned business. Go to YouTube and search for @Wake Up Show Chicago and hit subscribe and the notification bell to subscribe to the Wake Up Show Chicago. For behind the scenes and in-studio action, don't miss a single episode. Engage with us in real time. Comment live on YouTube and connect with like-minded entrepreneurs. Hosted by Larry D. Ivory, Buddy Love, and MC Pearson. The Wake Up Show Chicago empowers Black-owned businesses, powered by Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. Subscribe in.
We have to continue this fight. I would say, Brother Brown, you know what? You brought up some things which are the exact reason why we're doing Lobby Day. Brother, join with us. Come on down to Springfield. Come to the networking event on the 16th. Sign up to come down to Lobby Day. And we need people like you to voice those concerns, and then not just voice the concerns, because one of the things one of the reasons for going down to Lobby Day is to say, listen, here's the problem, here's the receipts from the violations. Now we need to know what you're going to do about it, and we need your voice to be a part of that, Brother Brown. And that's why we're talking about Lobby Day, right, Prayers?
That's it, man. That's what it's all about. Is fighting to get economic reciprocity. And ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is, Black people have not gotten a real return on investment. No matter how you cut the pie, no matter what area you look in. When you talk about sheltered market, that we haven't only done two sheltered markets over a period of a 7, 8, 9, 10 years. We still got to fight. This fight is still going on. I remember the fight 20 years ago. It hasn't changed. They are still trying to keep money and resources from us. And if we don't organize and mobilize and stay focused, we will not get what we deserve. But we got to fight for that. That's how it is. That's America. You know,
And
no matter how you cut the pie.
yeah, it sounds borderline nefarious, man, when you say, they are trying to keep us from the money. And you touch on, because when you say economic reciprocity, I know we're talking about the money. How do our black owned businesses get to the bag, and you just touched very lightly on the Justice 40 initiative, and in the respect of the compliance to it there. And there are a number of different agencies that are attached to that to help to share and disseminate some of the opportunities that are born out of that. So how do we ensure that we're getting our fair share of that? Because that's a big old bag right there.
Oh yeah,
You know what?
absolutely, man. It's
And Prez,
the money is there. We just got to make sure that we stay focused on what it takes in order to bring about the change that we want. And that change we want is more opportunities. Whether it be, even when you talk about advertising and marketing, we have some great black media companies. But when you take a look at all the spend that the state spends and everybody spends, they're probably not even getting 1/10 of 1% of all the billions and billions of dollars being spent with corporations. That's why when Constellation and the group was talking about a marketing campaign, I took the opportunity to talk to the leadership and say, hey, look, we want to be involved and engaged. We got some great black media firms who can do a great job of getting the message out. We want to work with you in order to make that happen. Just like we did with the lottery to make sure that black media companies had a seat at the table. We did that. We continue to fight for black participation, whether it be construction, whether it be general services, whether it be engineering. And we got some great engineering companies, but we got to continue to push for them to win contracts, to win prime contracts with the CTA and others. There's always room for improvement, and we should always better our best and look and go beyond what we've always ever done. So this is what this is about. This is this journey, and we just need you guys to come and hang out with us. It's going to be fun. You're going to love it. Every time people come down to lobby day, they say, "Man, this was great. Well organized, well attended, and it's a great time."
Prez, one of the things that the chamber does is, like what Brother Brown was saying, what happens when, those things are not met, those numbers are not met, and we see a violation. I know that going down to Springfield is to highlight those violations and ask, what are you going to do about it? Can you unpack for us just, one of the chamber members who did the work, was qualified, met all the criteria, but was still violated, and what happened, and then what is the chamber's voice in that situation?
Well, guys, there's countless of examples, but I'll give an example we've been talking about for quite some time. um, Dr. Jeffrey Sterling, who is a world class physician, emergency physician with Simcoe, has been fighting for 8 year plus and spent millions of dollars to try to get into this opportunity to do business in the state of Illinois, where billions of dollars are being spent on healthcare. He's qualified. It's about health prevention, and they put together RFP. The RFP came out, and he put together a proposal, just like anyone else should did. It was a level playing field. He put together his proposal. It was a world class proposal, and somehow they found a way to disqualify him or say he didn't have enough points, only to have him contest it, go to the CPO office. This is where Ellen gets a positive nod and said, "Wait a minute, this was biased and this was incorrect," and he won the complaint. But even though winning the complaint, the same company that's doing only 1% of African American and minority participation is a firm that still is doing the contract, and they still getting only 1% participation in that contract. And so they're stalling this game out. And if we don't force them to do something different, they're going to continue to leave a shutout. And I'm saying 1%. This is a lot of money, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're doing 1% participation, and they continue to win the contract when we have an alternative that is better, that is more qualified in most cases, and they won their complaint and should have been awarded the contract, and nothing has happened. We're going to have to come and speak to that issue. That's the chamber's job, to make sure it speaks for the issue. I'm a part of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce in Washington, D.C. I'm flying to D.C. for a big meeting with all the leaders of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. I don't always agree 100% with all the things that we talk about, but the fact of the matter is, when issues of chip, issue on foreign policy, they weigh in as a national organization on Capitol Hill to make sure that the business agenda that they have is looked at. And we got to do the same thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I just on another quick side note, since we're talking about lobbying, I just is anyone paying attention to what just happened in Florida with the
Wake me up.
University of Florida?
Wake me up.
So the University of Florida just fired and let go of all of their DEI staff, all their DEI staff, right? So they could be in compliance with the piece that DeSantis put out down there to go along with the national effort to tamp down and stomp out affirmative action, right? That's a crazy move right there. I mean, they cut all their DEI staff, DEIA staff, and if we don't really get in front of that conversation and raise our voice, from a lobbying perspective, it's just happening. They're just doing it. They're rolling us back, man, to the dark ages, man. That just seems crazy to me. I just threw that out there, just conversationally.
No, hey Mike, it's an important conversation, man. We are under attack, and that's why it's so important for us to do what we do, to be an advocate for Black business, to call people. People call me all the time and say, "Larry, I want to get to this company. I want to help over here." That's what we do. Our job is to help you grow your business. That's the only reason we exist, is to help you grow your business. And how do we do that? To to being advocates, to having meetings with the leadership, to meet with corporations, to work with them and create partnerships like we have with the utility companies. They're great partners of the chamber. They do an extremely good job of diversity, equity, and inclusion. They probably do the best job in the state of Illinois. They
Absolutely.
outperform the agencies by a significant margin when it comes to equity, diversity, and inclusion. Everybody else can be more like them. As a race of people, that we got to fight for the things that we need to fight for.
And you know what? The fight is not. I hear LM speaking, and kind of like my old pastor Gladius Lawrence, who's gone on to glory. He used to say, "I hear in my sanctified imagination." You know, and Lord Mike say, it's this fight that has to happen. And prayers say, we're being attacked, and unfortunately, most of the time when people think about Black folks being attacked, we're thinking about those that are being shot in the street, those that are being accosted, in their cars and dragged out of their cars. But see, there's a systematic racism that is happening across this country that is attacking Black people, and they want to keep you out of business. They want to keep you out of economic empowerment. They want to keep you from being able to improve your schools and improve your communities, and they're doing it through the dollar and or the lack of that dollar coming into your communities. And so we can't just only focus on the atrocities that are happening to us physically. We also have to pay attention to the atrocities that are happening to us financially, and that's why we're going. That's why Lobby Day is being put in place by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. I can't say it enough.
Amen, MC. Hey, let me just point this other piece out real quick before we get off the show. This is the glaring examples. The Illinois Department of Revenue and I'm just talking about within a 5-year period of time, has a 0% goal when it comes to debt collection. 0%,
Zero.
which means they spend billions of dollars collecting billions of dollars, and they've never had one African American who has ever done any business. But yet we all pay taxes, and when we get behind, they come in to get that money. So again, we have to point those things out. The Illinois Department of Revenue ought not to be able to get away with that.
Yeah.
Now, I know when you say Illinois Department of Revenue, it's like, well, they're the revenue department. Well, yeah, they're the revenue department, but guess what? It's our dollars they're collecting. And you don't
That's
get
right.
a right to just completely shut us out. And that the legislators ought to be offended by this. The governor ought to be offended by it. And we ought to make some changes. When they had a qualified African American that should have gotten that opportunity, what did they do? They found excuses. They gave lame excuses as to why he or she could not participate. Guy, it's an attack on you
Economic
economically.
assassination.
And that's the reason they brought you over here from slavery was about economics. So we ain't got no reparations. We still ain't winning for as many contracts as we deserve. We got to continue to fight, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we got to do, and the chamber is up for the fight. Matter
Yeah.
of fact, hey, we look forward to engaging in getting it done.
Bringing the
Ellen, you
smoke.
said something. What's that word that you said a second ago? I liked it. You said you
Yeah,
just
well,
said
we actually did. We've done episodes on economic assassination. That's
economic
the
assassination.
catalyst. That's the catalyst of the onslaught that's going on in the streets. That kind of translates into all the violence, all of the madness that's going on in our communities. It's because there's an economic assassination coming from the top down.
Well, you know what? This has been a great show. We need you to share this episode of the Wake Up Show on
Don't be
YouTube
stingy.
and on Facebook. You need to share this information. Meet us on March 16th. Check our website out, ilbcc.org. Come on.
Put
Saturday morning at 9, where change begins with every sunrise. Welcome to the Wake Up Show, Chicago.
Leela Foley.
Karen Freeman.
Lightfoot.
During Women's History Month, we speak your name. We're WVON.
Chicagoans love their barbecue, and one of the hometown
Hey, Don, I
favorites
can hear
is
you.
the Slab at 1918 East 71st
Okay.
Street near 71st and
Bill says
Jeffrey.
we're live.
It's all about the meat at Trice's Original Slab Barbecue. That's why the Slab